How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and I've got a great one for you today. You're thinking about moving your family to Denver. You're wondering the how, the what, the why. I'm going to give you everything you need to know starting right now. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I am your host, Jimmy Everett, and listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to living in or moving to Denver, Colorado, then this is the channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon popping up below, click that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And listen, as much as I love getting out in the sun, being a little creative here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and teamed with some of the state's most talented real estate agents. Would love to be a resource for you for your potential move here to Denver. So the number and email popping up below, I'm always the person answering those calls, answering those texts, answering those emails, there when you need me. All right, so now that we have that fun-filled stuff out of the way, let's get to what we're really here for, and that is you're moving your family to Denver, Colorado. What do you need to know? Let's start with number one. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is some of the great communities around Denver. Suburbs, cities, areas of town that you want to live in or may want to take a peek at. Now, I picked some of my random favorites or some of the more popular when you just talk to folks that live here. And I'm going to start completely biased with Lakewood, Colorado, which is where I was born and raised and where I actually am right now. So this park used to be called Rocket Ship Park. Back in the day, right behind me, there was this big metal rocket ship. It's like a trap of a death trap, but no one ever died on it. But they removed it. It's now called Jackson Park. But Lakewood is a community that was built in the 50s, 60s, up till today. So you have mature yards, you have mature trees, you have big lots, and you have a lot of family vibe here. Now, Lakewood is a big town. It's a big city located west of Denver. So there's a lot of different pockets in different areas, but definitely one that you're going to want to check out. Next up, if we're talking families and we're talking Denver, you're going to hear Centennial, and you're going to hear it a lot. Centennial is a very popular place for people who have already lived in Denver and are looking for a new area, and for people moving to Denver. Extremely family friendly, well thought out. Centennial, and I'm going to mention this a lot, was a planned, there are areas of Centennial that were planned developments where people thought through what does a community need, all in a general vicinity. You see, when neighborhoods like reverting back to Lakewood were built, they didn't really have to worry about gas prices and getting around. These were also the type of homes where they built that laundry room as far away from your bedroom as possible. Not that every house in Lakewood does that, but Centennial is one of those regions where they really started to think that out. How can we make it convenient for you to live in this community and do all of the things you need to do? Banking, shopping, going to restaurants, heck, working, all in one area. Next up on the list is Greenwood Village. Now, Greenwood Village is popular for a few different reasons. One, it's a great community, a lot of good schools there. You've got a diverse set of homes, whether it's single family, townhomes, condos. But Greenwood Village, which intersects with Centennial, parts of them touch, also has what we call the Denver Tech Center. So there are a lot of industry, there's a lot of businesses down there, a lot of office buildings, a ton of workspace. So people that live in Centennial, Greenwood Village, down the southern part of Denver, a lot of them will work in the Tech Center. Now, I can't mention Denver suburbs without mentioning Highlands Ranch because of all the places in Denver. Highlands Ranch tends to be one of the most desirable, especially for families. Highlands Ranch started to be developed in the 90s. I was in high school around the time it really started becoming popular, and you would hear about more and more people moving there. And Highlands Ranch was really one of those first communities, those planned communities I mentioned, where they were really thinking about what does a family need, want, expect. Now, one of the things that keeps Highlands Ranch so desired is there's only so many houses in the community. They're out of space. There's not new building happening in Highlands Ranch, at least none of any substance. So what is there has been there. It's relatively new, but it's again one of those places that a lot of people are looking at. And if you're thinking about moving a family to Denver, without question, it's going to be a place that you're going to want to take a peek at. So a couple other suburbs I just want to mention briefly. You have Littleton, which is still south of Denver. It's southwest Denver. Littleton has a great mix. It's a large suburb. Some of it built around the same time Lakewood was, so you see a lot of bigger yards. Again, mature trees, big lots, somewhat older homes. 40s and 50s, 60s. I don't want to make myself sound too old, but a lot of them were new when I was a kid, which was not in the 60s, don't get me wrong. But Littleton is a great community, and one of the things that I really love about it is that you get a mix. You have a suburb area, but Littleton also has a great downtown, Main Street, where you've got all your walkabilities, cafes, restaurants, shops, place you can spend the day at. It has the Bacon Social. I always have to mention the Bacon Social because everybody loves them some bacon. And speaking of areas that have a very cool downtown, Golden. Golden is another one of those very popular areas. Golden is west of Denver, heading up into the foothills. Basically, if you go any farther west from Golden, you're going to be in the mountains. Golden has one of the best downtown areas, Washington Avenue. Again, I always talk about that walkability, a great place to bring the family, and just a great community to live. Golden has been a very popular place for some time, and there's not a better place to kind of hang out, whether you're living there or just visiting. You have to check out Washington Avenue. And the nice thing about Golden is that it kind of spreads. So you have downtown Golden, you'll see the Coors facility, which is the largest brewery in the world, the single brewery anyway. It's got the great downtown area that I mentioned, but then that community just continues to run. So you've got a lot of new construction out there. You've got a lot of new townhomes and new single family homes and some of the most impressive houses you're going to see. So Golden's definitely one to check out. And last, if you want to be close to Denver, and again, there's a lot of communities to check out, but Wash Park. I can't mention Denver without talking about Wash Park. One of the more popular parks you're going to see in one of the more popular neighborhoods. Some really great houses, as walkable as it gets. You have some cafes and restaurants and whatnot, but once you see Wash Park, once you get around it, once you take the loop of the park, you see the tennis courts, basketball courts, the pond, pontoon boats, all of the things. Wash Park is one of the most desired neighborhoods, especially when you're talking about living close to the city. All right, so the second thing you need to know about moving your family to Denver is that there are plenty of schools. In fact, there are 220 private schools alone in and around Denver. There are 75 high schools that were listed on U.S. News and Report as being top in the nation. 75, not bad. Among the high schools that you're going to see highly rated around Denver, Boulder Valley, Cherry Creek, Littleton Public Schools, Douglas County, Jefferson County, St. Vrain School District, and Adams 12 five-star schools. So it's also home to 9 colleges or universities, including 4 that were on the top list on that U.S. News and Report. So you've got Denver University, Regis University, Colorado School of Mines, and then of course, Colorado University in Denver. So 9 overall, 4 on that list, not bad. I know, moms, it's all about keeping the kids close to home. I support it. Now, while I mention all 4 universities, I got to talk about 2 for their beauty. So first, Colorado School of Mines in Golden, great campus, and I just love that combination of School of Mines along with Golden. I think I didn't go to School of Mines. I should have studied more in high school, but at the end of the day, it just has, it's a great area, it's a great community, and of the people that I know that have gone to School of Mines, they rave about it. And next, a university that I've spent a great deal of time at, University of Denver, but they call it DU, is like a baby Notre Dame. Just a great campus. You get some of the Golden Dome vibe, and just a great place where even if you're not going to school there, just kind of walking around that campus, feeling it out. It's just a great, beautiful place to check out. And hey, if I'm going to show you the best of Denver and the best of Colorado, I have to mention those 2. All right, so point number 3 that I definitely want to make, if you're thinking about buying a house out in Denver, we are certainly in one of the more competitive markets and by national scales, pretty expensive. However, we're also in a city that has shown consistent appreciation and still a overall scarcity of homes. So while your price point might be higher currently compared to national average, so will your appreciation if and after you buy that house. Now, the nice thing about buying that house is point number 4, and that is the Denver economy is as strong as it gets. In fact, we've seen growth. I love the sound of this little kid behind me. I know she's having a blast on that playground. So our economy has built pretty steady over the last 23 years. Even during the crash of 08 and 09, Denver's economy didn't slip nearly as much as the rest of the nation. And ever since, right around 2011, 2012, it's been like a rocket ship. Speaking of rocket ship park. Oil and gas used to be the dominant industry here. It has a strong place here still, but Denver has become a financial, a tech, a healthcare, and an education hub, among others. So, again, reverting back, yes, housing can be a bit expensive, cost of living can be a bit expensive, but our economy, outstanding. Number 5 for families, plenty of culture. So you get downtown, Denver has the things, the Botanical Garden, Denver Zoo, plenty of museums, Children's Museum, Art Museum, Science and Nature and Science, I always get those two backwards. So plenty of things to do with your kids, to show them the world, show them the city. Denver also has a lot of just outdoor, and again, not just Denver, but Colorado, a ton of outdoor activities, a ton of hiking, biking, and skiing, parks everywhere. Lakewood, as an example, by itself has 100 parks, 99 officially. So there's never a limit to the things that you can do with your family, whether it is city and downtown, or whether you're getting out to the outskirts and enjoying the outdoors and all that Colorado has to offer. And listen, this is a random thing to bring up because you're probably going to watch this video sometime around spring, maybe early summer of 2022, but just write it in your notes. The Botanical Gardens and the Denver Zoo in Denver, among others, there's some other places, but they have some of the best Christmas lights. So if you're looking for things around the holidays to do with your family, make sure you write those down. The Botanical Gardens and Denver Zoo, their light shows, literally hundreds of thousands of lights put up by volunteers every year, and among one of my favorite things to do with family come the holidays, even though it's hopefully a gorgeous, warm day wherever you are watching this video. And point number 6, and this might be, at the end of the day, most important to you, Denver, the suburbs we've talked about, the neighborhoods we've talked about, are safe. You want to talk about being able to get outside, walk around with your family, enjoy Denver's beautiful weather, get out, do things with your family. At the end of the day, Denver, on the national average, most of the suburbs we've talked about are safe. You can get out and about. You don't have to worry about what time of day it is. Now, listen, I am a firm believer. I've lived in a lot of different places. You always need to be aware of your surroundings. Everything is as safe as your awareness allows it to be. But when you're thinking about moving your family somewhere that is safe, comfortable, a place that you can raise your family, start a family, what have you, Denver, suburbs I've mentioned, among others, among the best. A little fun fact for you watching at home, if you ever hear my tone change or me start to kind of gaze around, that's always because somebody has to stop and just kind of gawk a little bit. They're confused of why some random dude is in a park in Lakewood on a Saturday morning talking into a camera all by himself. What's weird about that? So listen, I know I said everything you need to know. I'm sure there's some other things, which is why that's a perfect excuse to give me a call, shoot me a text, or shoot me an email. So that number and email popping up below, I'm always the person answering those calls, answering those emails, answering those texts, answering those comments on this video if you have a question. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I am your host, Jimmy Everts. This was You're Moving Your Family to Denver. What do you need to know? Until next time, peace.